Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to do a short tutorial on the Elizabeth stitch. So this one's new to me. I just found it, I love it, and I'm going to teach you how to do it. So all we need to know is kind of like a variation of a single crochet and an increase. Let's work it together. So for this tutorial I'm working with a 6 or chunky weight yarn and an 8mm hook. To start off the Elizabeth stitch, we're going to work a slip knot. And then your foundation chain is going to be any multiple of 2, and then you'll add an additional 4. So I'm going to work 12 chains. To work a chain, we're going to insert our hook through our slip knot. Then you yarn over your hook and you pull it through until you pull up a new loop on your hook. So yarn over and pull the yarn through to pull up a new loop. So I've worked 3 chains. I'm going to work 12, and then I will show you how to work row 1. So I've worked 12 chains here. A personal preference of mine is to not work in the front of my work or under these V's, but to turn my work over and work in that back bar. So to work row 1, we're going to work the Elizabeth stitch in the 4th chain from our hook. 1, 2, 3, 4. To work this stitch, we're going to insert our hook. We're going to yarn over and we're going to pull up a new loop. So we have 2 on our hook. Then we're going to yarn over and into that same stitch, insert your hook, yarn over and pull up another loop. So we're going to be having 4 on our hook now. You're going to yarn over and carefully pull through all 4 of those loops. And then to finish it off, you will chain 1. So that's your first one there. You'll work that across the row, so skip a stitch, and into the next, work the Elizabeth. I'll work it with you again. Insert your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. Then you will yarn over into that same stitch. Yarn over and pull up another loop, leaving us with 4. And then carefully yarn over and pull through all 4 stitches. And then you will chain 1 to finish it off. So work that across and I'll meet you at the end. Skip a stitch, work that Elizabeth stitch, and then chain 1. And then I'll meet you at the end and show you how to finish off the row. So when you get to the end, you just have 2 chains left and you're going to work the Elizabeth into that last stitch. So you will do the entire Elizabeth, even the chain 1 at the end. So there's my pulling through all 4 loops, chain 1, and this is what it's going to look like at the end of your first row. Row 2, which is the repeat row for this, is worked very similarly, just the beginning and the end are a little bit different. So we have that chain 1 from when we finished the Elizabeth stitch. We're going to chain 2 more, 1, 2, and turn your work around. And then you're going to work the Elizabeth stitch across. We're going to be working it, if you kind of examine here, you have an Elizabeth stitch and an Elizabeth stitch. And there's almost like 2 little spaces right here and here. You're always going to work into the one closest to the Elizabeth stitch. So this is our first one we're going to work. We're going to work it here under this. Into the next one between these 2, we'll work it in that space there. And you just work that across. So you started off with the chain 2, turn your work around into that very first space, work the Elizabeth, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, insert your hook again and pull up another loop. So we have 4, yarn over, pull through 4, and then chain 1. And this is that easy. It gives you like kind of a bobble stitch, kind of a popcorn stitch feel, just a little bit of a twist on it. I'm using a really thick yarn, so obviously this is going to work up quick for me, but it does work up quick in smaller weights of yarn also. It would be great for a blanket, if you don't mind a little bit of holes. To finish off the row, when you get to the end, you finish it off the same way that you finish the other row. So that's your beginning, and that's your Elizabeth stitch. You're just going to work under that beside it. And make sure you work the chain 1 because that is finishing off your row. So that's the end of row 2. They're almost crisscrossing back and forth. And that's what we're going to be repeating for however long you want. So chain 2, turn your work, and then work the Elizabeth just like all the other rows. So I'll work up a larger sample swatch so you can see the full effect. Got my hook stuck there. So I worked up 4 rows. Super cute. Like I said, works up really quick. I know I'm using a thicker yarn, but it is a very quick stitch. It is just kind of a variation on like the bobble or the popcorn. I love it, the Elizabeth stitch, and I hope this tutorial helped you guys figure it out.